Do you have Judges 16? That's our primary text right there. And you can read it out loud, read it silently. But it says, but before long, his hair began to grow back. My message title today is The Shake Back. It's growing back. If you're excited about that, just say that. It's growing back. I just thought that it would be fitting on Super Bowl Sunday. You know, here in this country, in the world, it's recognized as Super Bowl Sunday. And somebody's going to win tonight. But I'm talking to someone in this room watching that has victory, that might have experienced a fall in their life, but just like whoever's going to win tonight, they can say that I won, because even though I did fall, it's growing back. It's growing back. Last week, we stood in the story of Samson, right? We talked about how Samson fell. And it wasn't when the scissors touched his hair. It wasn't when the Philistines rushed in. But it was when he stopped guarding what God told him to keep sacred. So today, we're not going to rewind the fall. We're not going to go back over all that. But we are going to watch what God does after the failure. Because most people stop Samson's story at the haircut. They stop at the haircut, but God didn't. God didn't stop at the haircut. Now, King James says, however. Was that NLT? NLT said, but. Before long. King James says, however, the hair of his head began to grow again after it had been shaven. Everybody shout, however. One more time, just shout, however. If you're watching online, type in the comments, however. Yeah, it happened. However. I want to park right there for a second on that however. That however means in spite of. Brother Cooper, it means in spite of. It means despite. It means even though. However, Samson right now in this passage where we are, he's blind. He's bound up. He's in prison. Publicly humiliated. However, it's growing back. Y'all get haircuts in here? Get haircuts? And so you know, as soon as you get your haircut, it's growing back. That's why you have to go as frequently as you go. And so even though, despite, however, it's growing back. Point number one, failure was definitely public. Restoration was quiet. Samson's fall was out loud. It was a loud fall. But his restoration was silent. Nobody clapped when it started growing. Nobody announced it when it started growing. Nobody noticed it when it started growing, but God was working without noise. Can somebody attest to this? God is working without noise. Some of you are in a season where God is doing his best work in your life, and nobody knows it. I said some of you are in a season where God is doing his best work in your life and nobody knows it. You're healing quietly. You're building quietly. You're praying quietly. You're rebuilding quietly. Because real restoration doesn't need an audience. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean God is absent. Somebody need to hear that again. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean God is absent. It's growing back. I'm gonna get through this. I'm just gonna rush through this, okay? If y'all don't mind, but we're gonna park where we need to. So, point number one, it was definitely public. The humiliation, the failure was public. Restoration's quiet. Point number two, God didn't rush him. He rebuilt him. I want you to focus on that. In this Samson story, God didn't rush him. God rebuilt him. He could have snapped the chains immediately, because if you look at the text, I believe it was in verse 21, just before our primary text today. In verse 21, they came in and they seized him. They gouged his eyes, bound him up in chains. Now God, in his power, anybody can attest to the power of God? God in his power could have right then, in that same hour, broke those chains. As soon as they apprehended him and they put him in those chains, God could have broken those chains. But there was something that needed to happen to Samson. There was something that Samson needed out of all of this, because evidently the vow that his parents had sworn for him to keep, he did not keep this vow all his life. And he knew. How do I know? Because when he got very comfortable, remember last week I told you the enemy cannot overpower you. But what the enemy will do, he will wear you down. He will talk to you, try to get you very comfortable, make you feel at ease, make you feel like you've been led by still waters, make you feel like you are in good green pastures, make you feel like, oh, this plate of food, look what I did for you. And I set this table up for you. However, it wasn't the good shepherd that did it. It's the enemy. And sometimes we give the enemy access. We give access, we tell secrets. And when he got comfortable, read that passage, Judges 16. When he got real comfortable, he told her the secret. He said, if you cut my hair, I will be weak, just like anybody else. I will lose my strength. And you read the story, you know the story. When he went to sleep, she told him, he's asleep, come on in, cut the hair. They paid her. She did a job. Samson didn't do his job. So look, in this whole process, the point here is God didn't rush him. God rebuilt him. Could have snapped those chains, but he didn't. Because God wasn't just restoring Samson's strength. He was restoring Samson's character. Some delays in your life are not punishment. I want you to know that. I want you to remember that. Some delays in your life are not punishment. They are reconstruction. You're asking God, why am I still here? God is saying, because I'm rebuilding you here. You know what? I thank God. Anybody here play old video games back in the day, like Super Mario Brothers? Now, if you can just go through a level and keep messing up and you get to start over on that level, that means you haven't seen game over yet. Now, you take that how you want to take it. Because in these little games, you know, you only get a certain amount of men, aka a certain amount of lives. You know, those little men. When you fall down off a cliff, one of them disappeared. You got two left. Bouncing around. You lost another one. But if you can continue to start, if you're asking God, why am I still here? You're still on that level. It has not been game over for you. So evidently, God is saying, I'm rebuilding you here. There's something here that you're not getting. I need you to get. And we are going to sit right here. I'm going to sit with you. I want you to know that even though you might not be comfortable, you might not be happy with having to redo this and redo this and redo this, just know I'm waiting on you. I'm keeping the light on for you. I'm right here with you. I know what I put in you. I created you. I made you. And if you would just wake up to what you really have on the inside of you, we're going to get through this level. So there was something else that needed to be worked on in Samson, and that was his character. He was reconstructing. Samson is in there grinding grain in prison, but God is growing him while he's grinding the grain. Blind. Grinding grain in a prison. God is growing him. You might be grinding right now, but something is growing. Let's move on. The enemy celebrated too early. Your enemy celebrated too early. He thought he had you. Thought that you had met your demise. The enemy celebrated too early. Yeah, they shaved his head. They bound his hands. They took his sight. But they missed something. They celebrated what they could see and ignored what God was doing that they couldn't. Y'all stand with me? The enemy thought that it was over, but they didn't scalp him. Yeah, they removed evidence of consecration, but they could not cancel covenant. And if I could just get about 3 people in here to just say right where you are, I've got a word over my life. Yep, that's it. That's it. That's it. Just. Whose report are you going to believe? I got a word. Covenant, and he's a covenant keeper. He's a promise keeper. I know what he spoke over my life. This is not the end. So look, they celebrated what they could see. Oh yeah, we gouged his eyes out, cut his hair off. Look at him. He's just like a mere man now. No strength, nothing. Look at him. The great Samson, strongest man around. Look at him. We got him. Grinding grain in our prison. We got him. But they can't cancel covenant. Some people thought your story ended last season. They don't know you've been renewed for several seasons. You've been renewed. Your story has been picked up. It never was dropped. It never was dropped. Wrong network. I've got a word over my life. Wrong platform. Thought you canceled, huh? Nah. They celebrated too early. They celebrated too early. Now, in this place Samson finds himself in, he begins to pray right. These moments will do that to you. Samson finally prays right. In Judges 16, verse 28, it says, then Samson prayed. Oh, okay, now, okay, we're getting somewhere now. Oh, okay, Samson. That's what I was waiting on. God's like, yep, I was waiting on it. I've been watching you do all this in your own strength and your own way. I saw you get that honey out that lion carcass, and after I told your parents, and I told you not to mess with them kind of women, and that's all you've been chasing. I told you not to deal with that kind of man, and that's all you've been chasing. I told you not to hook up with those people, that organization, get in that situation, but that's all you seem to want to do. But now we're getting somewhere, verse 28. Then Samson prayed, okay, welcome back. Welcome back, my boy. This is a different Samson in verse 28. No ego, no pride. You hear me? No ego, no pride, no flirting with danger. It's a whole different Samson. Now listen, you don't want to have to be broken down like that for you to give God a yes. Eyes gouged out, grinding grain. Boy, you look like a waiter in your own house. You don't want to get to that point. For then you finally give God a yes. When you can barely articulate it. Yes, Lord. It's a different Samson, y'all. When you're blind, I've never been blind. However, I have experienced a very intense level of photophobia. Anybody know what that is? Where the sensitivity of the light. I was in my 20s when it happened, and everything else gets heightened, including what you think about when you can't see with your natural eyes. And I guarantee you in that moment, Samson couldn't see naturally, but he was seeing all of the times he broke consecration. All the times he broke his promise, his vow with God. Then he gets to verse 28 and he prays, and we see a different Samson. Again, no ego, no pride, no flirting with danger, just dependence. I'm dependent on you. Just dependence. Failure has a way of teaching you how to pray differently. How to pray the way you should have always been praying. But failure has a way of teaching you, if you learn from it, will make you pray differently. Some of us didn't learn how to really pray until life humbled us. Yeah, see, God made the day and the night. There's a book that I'm reading right now, currently, and it's called The Night is Normal. The night is normal. God made the day, but he also made the night. And so everything that happens in the day and everything that happens in the night, God's in control of it all. And just like the day is normal, the night is normal too. And there are lessons that we can learn from the night. Anybody grew up and you needed a night light? You might be ashamed to admit it. But I used to really appreciate when Overseer Claude Harris Sr. would cut on the light. There was this little bathroom right next to my room, and it was kind of diagonally across from Danielle's room. He cut that light on. Now, I don't know why he did it, but I'm glad he did. Because sometimes me and Kermit the Frog, oh, you didn't have a support toy? I had a support toy coming up. Me and Kermit rocked this life probably till I was about 8. I had Kermit. So 7, 8 years old, me and Kermit scared for our lives in the dark. And don't let it be storming outside. Scared. 8 years old. Why am I trying to be a man at 8? Trying to be tough at 8. But when he would cut that light on, 8-year-old JR was so happy. And I think, 4-year-old Danielle was happy too. And then, at some point, He'd cut that light off. Maybe after seeing that we were asleep, he's like, okay, they're good now. Thank you for doing that, Dad. Appreciate that. Can we thank God for... Sometimes he'd listen in and see that we're breathing funny. He'd get a humidifier going. Thank you for that. And you know, and I mean, and look, because I've grown to know them, my mom probably told him to do that because he didn't think of that on his own. But you know, we going it's about you right now. It's about you right now. We're gonna give you some love today. We thank God for Overseer Claude. We're gonna give you some love today. God is trying to get to you that the night is normal too. Everything about it. Seasons of your gift making room for you and seasons of obscurity. Nobody knows you. The phone's not ringing. Joy, pain. Sunshine, you know the song. Rain. Oh, and pain. Yep. There are lessons. Sometimes there are lessons that only pain can teach. And some of you can say what pride could not teach, pain did. Let me move on. Listen, God used the same thing that he lost. God did not give Samson a new source of power. He used the same hair that Samson mismanaged. That's grace. Because you think about it, God doesn't give you anything new. See, because what God does one time is good for all. When you got here, you had everything that you need to get through this life and to make an impact. He doesn't have to place anything new. You don't have to go to some type of heavenly store and stand in line and wait for a whole new gift. He put it in you. It's up to you to discover what you have on the inside of you and work it. That's the dash. That's the dash that we get. And it matters what you do with your dash, what you're doing with the gift that God has given you. And you don't lose that. You don't lose it. God used the same hair that Samson mismanaged, and that is grace. God will use the same calling, the same gift, the same anointing once you return to consecration. You didn't lose it forever. It's growing back. It's growing back. I told you, I'm trying not to be a look at your neighbor preacher. So if you would say this back to me, I'm about to shake back. I'm about to shake back. I'm about to shake back. And look, the ending for Samson was stronger than the beginning. If you look at verse 30, it says he killed more in his death than in his life. It says he killed more in his death than in his life. This is not glorifying failure, but this is magnifying redemption. That when you get your heart right, when you consecrate again before the Lord, he will restore you. He will renew you. And the same calling, the same gift, he lets you know nothing's changed. Now get back to work. And this time when Samson got back to work, verse 30 tells us he killed more in his death than in his life. Your greatest impact, some of you, your greatest impact will come after your worst mistake. Because you will learn from that mistake. And it's only when you learn from that mistake can you grow and you can make an even greater impact than before. And then you can keep someone else from making the same mistake. It's a responsibility that you have then at that point to do so. The worst chapter does not have the final word. I'm going to say it again. The worst chapter of your life does not have the final word. The worst chapter of your life, all the time you thought you were wasting, all of that, none of that has the final word over your life. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Just give God praise for a moment. Hallelujah. None of that has the final word. None of it. Woo, your worst chapter does not have the final word. Samson lost his strength in a bedroom, but he got it back in a prison. The night is normal. The night is normal. He lost his strength in a bedroom, but he got it back in prison. And I came to tell somebody on Super Bowl Sunday, if you feel like something in your life was cut, if you feel like something in your life was stolen, if you feel like something in your life was mishandled, God sent me to tell you, you're about to shake back. He sent me to remind you it's growing back. From the moment the covenant was cut, once you made up in your mind, I'm going to get back in line with God. I'm going to align my will with his. It began growing back. Everything your enemies thought that you lost, it began growing back. And you can stand proudly and say, I'm about to shake back. This is about to be a comeback greater than when the Patriots came back on the Falcons. This is going to be a comeback for the ages. They thought that I had lost it all. They thought that they had me cornered. They thought that my story was over. They thought that they could go ahead and just write me off. But God has a plan. God has a plan. And his plan says you are about to shake back everything that they thought you lost. Even if there were things that you say I lost, and you can say that you lost, God said it's growing back. You're about to shake back. Your prayer life, somebody say with me, shake back. Your discipline, shake back. Your joy, shake back. Your faith, shake back. Your hope, shake back. Everything around me is about to shake back. Give God a shake back praise right now. Right now. Come on, give him. It's shaking back. It's growing back. It's growing back. It's growing back. Even when you gave up on yourself, shake yourself right now and say, this is the shake back. It's growing back. It's growing because God is with me. God is with me. He is my light. He is my salvation. In whom shall I fear? Whom shall I be afraid? The Lord is the strength of my life. I said the Lord is the strength of my life. Can I say it again? The Lord is the strength of my life. I'm about to shake back. 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 Some of you ladies, you know, you go to the hairstylist. Go and just do one real quick. Just do a little shake. I'm about to shake back. I'm about to shake back. Can y'all just say that with me? Shake back. You're forgiven. Your joy is coming back. You've been restored. Your discipline, your family, your business, your health, mental well-being. Shake back. Shake back. Shake back. Come on, give him praise. Come on. He's worthy. You are the righteousness of God. You are the righteousness of God. Our adversary, yes, he had a plot, but God has a plan. Woo. Shake back. I just want to say this in closing. If you've quietly assumed it's over, be honest. If you've quietly assumed it's over in any area of your life, I'm just here to remind you that God said, however, but God. However, in spite of, even though I'm with you. Yeah, it happened. However, yeah, they can point to your past and say, yeah, I know this about you. I know what you did last summer. However, created me. The enemy can't do nothing with the word. Sometimes life will break you down. But listen, get before God. You created me a clean heart and renew in me the right spirit. Cast me not away from thy presence, oh God. Woo. Woo. Come on, tell them like we did last week. I'm yours, Lord. I'm yours. I'm yours, Lord. I'm yours, Lord.